Hey guys, it's Molly. I'm back in my office, and I know there's still no books on my shelves, so I apologize again. Um, I keep thinking about this question of picturing a parent who's concerned coming to a young adults pastor and saying, "Hey, like I'm really worried. Like my son has stopped believing in a lot of the Bible, is starting to doubt things that are really important for him to be believing. I raised him up to believe these certain things, and it's starting to make me nervous." And that's completely understandable from a parent's perspective. You raise up your children in the way that you want them to go, and sometimes they stray from that, and sometimes they don't. I think the most important thing to remember is giving space and creating room for a child to doubt, because realistically it's completely normal, especially at college age, for students to doubt. And that's because they are growing up, they're kind of deciding who they're going to be for the first time in their lives. They have the freedom to kind of create who they're going to be without their parents kind of ruling over that. And I think that we need to create room for them to have those doubts in a safe space, of course, not having doubts and then going off and doing dangerous things with it. I mean, doubt is a really important part of creating a foundation of having a real faith. And so I think of it like trying on different size shirts. And so if you see a kid walking around wearing his dad's shirt, you're like, oh, like that's definitely not his shirt. It doesn't really fit him right. And so we have to all get to a point in our lives where we have a faith that's our own, that it's not about who our parents say Jesus is, it's not about who our youth pastors say Jesus is, it's about who we truly believe Jesus to be. And so that really ties in with the Bible in general. I think that it would be a mistake to come down hard on someone who's experiencing doubt, because I think in turn that would push them further away. But I think that it's really important to kind of, it's okay to be nervous, it's okay to be afraid, but to really walk through that doubt with your student and not be afraid to answer their difficult questions, or not be afraid to answer their questions with an "I don't know," because I think in the church we're all too ready to come up with our own answers to everything, and I think that's really unwise, especially because if we aren't sure and we kind of make something up on the spot, eventually, especially college students, they're going to see through that. And so I think it's really wise to continue to speak truth into their life when we have the opportunity. And of course, like as a church, that's something that we're going to want to be doing. But we also want to be real. And so we want the student to be real with where they're at in their faith. Because if they just come in with telling you everything that you want to hear, then I guess you'd be happy for a moment. But if you don't see it lived out in their life, then it's kind of like, what's the point of that? So obviously the Bible is such an integral part of who we are as believers, and we don't want to refute it. But I think that the Bible is stronger than we make it out to be, and it can handle our doubts and it can handle our questions, and it's not a tool for us to use, especially against someone who's going through doubt. That's like a big mistake. But instead, really approaching it and letting the Bible be what God means for it to be, and so it becomes something more powerful than on its own. Um, Doubt can sometimes be a scary place, but I think that it's necessary and like so important, especially if you're trying to cultivate a faith that's your own.